we're all looking for change in our life, and it's of importance for all of us to have clarity of where we're going and where we're at now, and that transition between where we are and where we want to go. And I think we're all yearning for a sense of clarity of who am I going to be, what's my life going to look like. There's a sense of comfort that comes with having that knowledge and like having clear set goals, but it's just never that simple for people, and life isn't linear in the way that we think it is, and often who we think we are and who we're going to be get changed and moulded by life circumstances and our values and what we think of ourselves. They change throughout life as we get older. For example, like maturity is that process. It's like as you get older and you become wiser, and life kind of chisels away at this image of who you think you are. You become more solidified in the fact that, like, I don't know who I am. I'm not really sure where I want to go. And the things I used to value when I was 20 aren't the same as what I value when I'm 25, 27. And as you get older, then things change more. You see the value of life experience, you see the value of relationships and so on. But that still doesn't help us with that unease of like, where am I going? What do I want to do? What do I do next? And how do I change? I know I want to change. I'm maybe uneasy with where I am now. I'm unhappy with the person I am. But like, how do I get that change to happen? And what do I change into? And then it can feel like certain actions that used to serve you, or certain actions that you get told to do by people on social media or books or whatever you read in, like the general populist advice, don't seem to give you that sustained growth and that sustained motivation to keep working towards things. So then you're left with, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to improve myself, and I don't know what a better life looks like. I don't know what change looks like for me. And so what I'm trying to get at here, the point I'm trying to articulate is like, how do we change and how do we know what actions to take and what to improve on? And I'm going to use the biblical idea. I'm not Christian in a sense. I'm not really religious. I'd say I have religious tendencies, but I don't confine to one religion. But in the Bible, there's a passage which is in Matthew something, and I think it's Jesus. It might be Sermon on the Mount, where he's saying, "Ask, and you will get an answer. Knock and a door will open. Seek and you will find." And it's this idea that if we ask ourselves with the humility of being willing to be open to whatever comes to us, then we will know what to do to change and to make progress in our life. And if you can sit down with humility and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong in my life that I can improve on? What does change look like for me? And you ask that question with the humility of, I'm being open to any answer, to anything possible, regardless of if I like that answer or if I don't. You ask that question and something within your mind will come up with an answer. Consciousness will arise up with an articulation of, you're doing this wrong, you're waking up late, the way you treat your girlfriend here, the way you show up in work isn't good enough. It will be, something will come up. If you really sit down at the end of your bed, or just like anywhere, and just go, what do I need to do to change? What can I work on? Something will come up. And it might not seem like something that really serves you towards change or to better your life, but you need to listen to that voice of conscience, because that is the voice of reason. That's the voice of God, in my opinion, of the soul, that's trying to put you in the right direction. If you constantly ask yourself the question and you are willing to submit to the answer, then that is no different than prayer. That's where thought is secularized prayer, in a way of you're being humble enough to realize that you don't know the answer. And it's really weird. You ask yourself the question of, how do I make change? What can I do in my life to change? And then your thoughts come up with an answer, or something in your being comes up with an sorry guys, keep getting something stuck in my throat. Comes up with something like an answer. And it's like, where did that come from? Because it didn't come from me, because if it was me answering that question, I would have already known, because I came up with the idea and I would have already been acting that out. But it's not you that comes up with the answer. It's something else. It's consciousness. It's whatever it is. And that's what the Bible and the biblical narrative have got spot on with that quote. It's like, you can ask something, you can pray to something, and you will receive an answer. And that answer will often be contradictory or won't seem like the right thing to do, or won't seem like the thing that the masses are saying or whatever, but that will be what serves you. And so really ask yourself and be humble enough to go, what do I need to do? And if I think about it now, for a practical example, is like my relationship to my girlfriend, the way I show up when she comes back from work, the way I like tidy the house up, the simple things that don't seem like massive ways of improving myself, but they're the things that come up to my mind straight away to think that's how you can improve and that's how you can change and you can grow. You've got to follow the call of conscience in that way. And I think there is a lot of like mainstream ideas that say that you need to get more confidence, you need to do this, you need to do that. But I think you know, and you need to trust your own intuition and your own wisdom that you can come up with an idea and you can come up with a way to improve, and you know how to improve you, because we're all individuals, we're all different, and we all require different circumstances. We all have different circumstances and require different sets of actions to get us towards the person that we want to be. And you need to think of like your personality as two things. It's who you are and who you are in the future. And there's like this there's this space in between that you need to try and mediate. And by mediating that space, you ask yourself the right questions. And if you keep asking yourself the right questions and you're coming from a place of actually seriously wanting to change, and you have enough humility to be willing to accept that, and then that gap will close and you will get closer to the person that you're meant to be by doing that. But you need to ask the right questions and be humble enough to submit to the answers. And that is faith in a way. And there's the biblical idea summed up in God. It's that there's something that knows us more deeply than what we do. And if we show faith and we could submit to that, then it will get us to where we need to get to. But you need to cultivate space and time for that, and you need to have the humility to be open to the answers. I think that's all I've got to say, guys. I haven't done a video in a while, so I hope it was articulated well. I'm out in the woods on a walk, and it always get me like reflecting and trying to refine the questions of life. My dog's actually there. I don't know what he's eating. Duds. Oh, he's got a twig. All right, well, I hope everyone's well, and I'll see you all in the next video.